The more I learn about men, the more I'm taught that men are very, very powerful, but they're taught into being weak in a powerful way. Hey everybody, how is it going? I am Shayla Jade. This is Chocolate Cake 101. I'm doing something very regular with my hair, but it's a beautiful thing. I'm embracing even the most vulnerable pieces of me because, as you guys know, I've been talking about healing and growing and stabilizing your nervous system, and I've been doing what I told y'all to do this whole time. I'm starting to take my own advice, and it is lit here, and I don't want to leave. I feel so much more fulfilled. I feel so much more capable, able, calm, wonderful, and it's showing in the people, places, and things that are coming to me. I feel like I'm on a new trajectory. That being said, that's why you haven't seen me, because I've been talking about all these things that you do when you're in a hurt space. And there's no problem in that because a lot of people are in a hurt space. But I don't feel hurt anymore. What is it? My heart is not broken. My life is not over anymore. So I don't really feel like talking about it. And it's showing, like I said, I've been meeting healthier people. I've been getting healthier content on social media. I've been receiving all these different opportunities that have just been coming to me because I'm in a different space, because I've been stabilizing my nervous system. I've been being vulnerable with myself. I've been taking the blame for things in life instead of blame shifting on other people, so that I'm not looking at me and I'm always blaming. And then you can't handle when someone else is the problem, you can't do anything about it. But when you say, I will take the responsibility for what's happening, you have control over what happens next. I got the power, baby. All right. So, today's conversation, that being said, I still wanted to do a whole build around masculine and feminine energy, because love and survival are the two biggest things around in our culture. And we're not doing either of those things very well. When you look at the Western culture, the divorce rate is disgusting. The single parent rate is scary. And people are learning to manipulate women and men online. This shit is weird out here. I don't remember love being so difficult. I shouldn't say that. I'm trying not to cuss because I might want to monetize. So let me say that again. Things are crazy out here. And that being said, thank you so much, because I've been receiving a lot of really good feedback about my channel. So thank you everyone for the beautiful things that you've been saying. And here is another episode, because some people, when are you gonna post again? When are you gonna post? I'm here, baby. Anyway, so today's episode, I want to talk about the masculine energy and gaslighting, because I really feel like men are being gaslit into this toxic or hyper wounded energy. I don't like the word toxic, just sounds really dramatic, and because it's become so popular, I don't like saying it. I like wounded better, but there are degrees of wounds to where it does just become poisonous. And women are being disrespected. And so both are just not in a good place, because what women do is they turn to men and try to be like the men so that they're not being disrespected. And that doesn't work for you because you're not a man. And one of my last videos on masculine feminine energy, I'll link it above. Men are from Mars, women are Venetian. I talk about how I don't think that men and women are even the same species. Both humanoids, and there are various different types of humanoids, both still humanoids with different species, and we are in a contract here in this time-space reality to procreate. And that's for a whole nother build, because then I'm about to start talking about Easter and I'm gonna lose half of y'all. So going back to how men are being gaslit. So when you're talking about a society that is ran off of survival mode, the members in that society also have to be ran off of survival mode, and they have to be blindly being off of survival mode. So with men, it's so interesting, because men will tell you all day, men will tell you all day how they're the leaders, but then when it's time to talk about the problems of the world, there'll be men that want to blame women so bad. And let me tell you something, I'm Aquarius. I don't give a who's the leader. If you want to lead, go ahead and lead. But you can't be a leader and say that they did it. They're the reason why everything's going to dust. Either you are the leader and it's your fault because you're the king, or you're not the leader. There's a similar quote, either God is not all powerful or he's not all good. Meaning, if you are who you say you are, then we either shouldn't be having these problems, or you're being misinformed as well. So again, this is not about who's the leader, because competition in itself is a masculine trait and I'm not with it. But what I am saying is, if you're the leader, we got to get y'all right, because we want you to lead with dignity, with pride, with good pride, right? We want you guys to be able to lead the way things should be led, and not in a way that is just turning women into men. It's getting weird out here. So I will be talking about how the feminine energy is being disrespected, but right now we're talking about how the masculine energy is being gaslit. And before we start this conversation, I want you to remember that masculine energy lives in all of us and feminine energy lives in all of us. So we are literally just talking about the providing energy, giving energy, the proton. We're talking about the doer. We're talking about the ego. Okay, these are ways that your ego is being gaslit, and this is in no particular order. I did quick notes because I was trying to do a quick video because I'm trying to get on the road, but we'll see how long this goes. So one of the biggest things, the way that our masculine energy is being gaslit, is by telling us that we should not trust our emotions, we shouldn't have emotions, we should ignore our emotions, being soft is weak. So there is this psychologist that I was watching. Sorry, I'm not even going to go into his name or the podcast, but he was talking about how men under 45, their biggest enemy is themselves. He was talking about the rate that these younger men are unaliving themselves. And he was talking about how most of the time when this is happening, these are coming from men who showed no signs of emotional damage, because they're taught not to. And after a lifetime of being taught that you can't be sad, you can't be jealous, you can't be curious, you can't use these emotions, you can't be soft, you can't be vulnerable, all these things are being built up with inside of them. And I've told you guys time and again, when you have no outlet for energy, whether it be positive or negative, that just turns into a poison within you. That's what sickness is. Cancer, all these illnesses that they talk about is nothing more than a buildup of gunk that your body can't get out. That's no matter wherever that is. If it's breast cancer, you have what do they call them? Ducts. Your body's not able to release that nasty energy within you. So we're taking in all this toxicity and there's no outlet for it. And when there's no outlet for it, you implode. And that's what's happening to a lot of these people. A lot of people, men and women, are emotionally and psychologically imploding. They can't take it anymore. I was at dinner with a friend, at dinner with a gentleman. I was at dinner with a gentleman a few days ago, and it wasn't like I didn't already know, but he was talking about how men, specifically black men, are taught not to express themselves emotionally. And I already know that. My mother's a psychologist. My mother's been working with men for 30, 40 years. So we already knew that, but it's up to that particular man to decide that I am no longer going to tune into this bullshit. It's been 7 minutes, so I'll say one little cuss word. That I'm no longer going to tune in to this BS, that I'm not going to go for this anymore, even if it's talking to a therapist. This gentleman has a therapist, and it was from that he learned so much about himself. But it's time for you guys to understand that you are allowed to be vulnerable, which is my next thing. Men, I was listening to a YouTube video the other day, and this guy was legit telling me, my time's cut off on me. I was watching a YouTube video the other day of this gentleman, a white guy from a different country. He was from a different country, but I think he was in America, but he was giving advice to men about how to be like this man. And he was telling men to stop confiding and being vulnerable with their girlfriends. And that just hit me real weird, because I understand not being emotional with everybody, but we're talking about your girlfriend. And in in a wounded world where you guys are dating people that you don't trust, sure. But if you feel like you can't be vulnerable, when you have somebody that you're going to marry, you're going to be with, this is why the marriage rate is so freaked up, right? When you have somebody that you're going to be with, this partner that you're going to do life with, you guys are going to have kids with, you guys are going to be sick around, there's going to be accidents, they're going to see your guts, whether you're a woman or a man. You know, when you're a woman, they're going to see your guts when they're helping you give birth. When you're a man, when you're old, she's going to be changing your diaper, bruh. Like, you're going to go through the ringer with this person. You feel like you can't talk to them? You feel like it's okay to say, oh, I'm not going to tell them how I'm feeling? Why would anybody want to be in a relationship with somebody that they can't be vulnerable with, that they don't trust, that they can't tell their emotions to? That's not a partnership. That's not a bond. That's not even healthy. Do you really think you're going to be able to have a relationship with somebody and not talk to them? That's going to lead to a divorce, by the way. And I'm talking to someone, so just take that message. I don't know who I'm talking to. This is not me being funny, but I'm saying someone's hearing this. Be vulnerable with your wife, bro. And if you feel like you can't be vulnerable with her, because some of you guys don't marry for the right reasons. And to be honest with you, don't be vulnerable with her. Start by being vulnerable with yourself. Admit things to yourself. Take accountability within yourself. Tell yourself how you felt about what happened when you were 13. Tell yourself how you felt about your mom not being able to get her shit together because she was single mom. By the way, I don't come from a single mom household. I'm just saying a lot of people do. And so this is something that it's okay. It's okay to be mad at your mom. She can't get everything right. It's okay to be mad at your father. It's okay if you felt unsafe. It's okay if you felt unwelcome. It's okay if you think it's bullshit that you are in survival mode, that you live on a planet that you have to earn everything when it's free all around you. You need to start being okay with expressing yourself, even if it's just to yourself. Go get a notebook and start journaling. Go make a private or a anonymous YouTube channel or Instagram page and start talking about how you feel. But you have to express your emotions. And the reason why you want to be vulnerable is because when you're going to see that it's safe, even though you were gaslit into believing that it wasn't safe, it's safe because you're okay. It's safe because you have your back. This is about you showing up for yourself now. And when you are blocking off your emotions, you're blocking off your feminine energy within you. How do you think you're going to have a relationship with someone else if you can't even have a relationship with the woman inside of you? The woman inside of you, with the feminine energy within you. Okay, I don't even feel comfortable saying the woman because that's a trigger for a lot of men. I'm not trying to say, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, another thing, a lot of men are taught to use love as a weapon. There are so many manipulative videos on how to get a girl online. Congratulations, you played yourself. Because when you use all these manipulation tactics to get her, you didn't get her, bruh. You don't have her. And to be honest with you, as in love as she is with you, she's coming from her own toxic traits. And this is going to hit a climax. This is not going to end well. And then you're just going to be back at square one. You're going to be single again in a few years. And it's going to hurt worse. So I didn't know any of this, you guys. I started dating this guy in summer of 2020. Shout out to you, babe, because he watches my videos. I started dating this dude, and I had no idea at the time that he was toxic, wounded. His mother was a very beautiful woman, and he had a lot of access to a lot of beautiful women growing up and men who taught him manipulative tactics. So he started love bombing me and then breadcrumbing me, and I had no idea what was going on. My parents have been married for 43 years. I know I say this like in every video. I had no idea what was going on because that's not how my dad acts, okay? At least not around me. Anyways, do you think that he's married with kids? No. As a matter of fact, he's got Papa was a Rolling Stone. No, he's not married with kids. He's still almost 50 trying to figure himself out. Trying to find what next woman is going to be his victim because he's not there yet. And then you realize, bruh is almost 50. You're going to be 60 and 70 and you're going to need someone to take care of you. And you're not going to have that because your kids didn't get to see you. And because you have a long list of women who you just played, who ended up healing and marrying a great person. You know what I'm saying? When you use manipulation or fake tactics to get someone to love you. You put yourself in a fraudulent energy, and all you're doing is getting fake shit all around you. And women are guilty of this too. Fake hair, all this makeup, fake bodies. We really need to get out of this fake society. And it's okay to embellish your features while you're working on them, but please work on them. You know what I'm saying? Don't just wear the shapewear. Go work out. Don't just pretend to love bomb people and pretend to be a healthy masculine. Go to therapy. Do your shadow work. Be real with yourself. Be real with everyone else. So for those of you who keep getting potential scam, I'm sorry. It's just a thing. Because I was going through this a few years. I kept getting those phone calls. Potential scam, potential scam, potential scam. Baby, that's you. You're not being real with yourself. You're not being real with the world around you. That is the clearest indication that you are on a fraudulent frequency. What is it? 7 of Swords. And you're playing yourself. So you might want to work on that, because if you thought that things were going to end well, they're not. And if it feels uncomfortable to be authentic, that's because it is. And that's exactly what you need to work on. Because you have got to start being comfortable with being who you are, where you are, no matter what. That authentic, genuine energy is the sexiest thing in this world. Nay, in this universe. Spirits like it when you're real too. Everybody likes it when you're real. Everyone says they're real, but then you find out as you go on who's real and who's not. Authentic, matter of fact, there's a gentleman that I used to work with a very long time ago. We were cool. We used to have the bomb conversations. And the reason why it was so great is because he never agreed with me, but he respected my conversation. But he didn't agree with me, right? And I respected that we were just talking. We're not having a fight, you know? But we rekindled our friendship yesterday. And he literally texted me and said, "You're the coolest person. You're one of the coolest people I have ever met." Of course I am. Of course I am. Because I try to be authentic, not with people around me, but with myself. And what that looks like is being authentic with the world around me. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm the greatest. There are times where I just don't hit the mark. But if you call me out on my shit, not with disrespect, but if you call me out on my stuff respectfully, I'm happy to look at it. That relationship I had with that guy that gaslit and love bombed me, he taught me, he's the reason I'm doing this vlog. He taught me so much about myself, because I didn't even realize that I was on some bullshit. I was trading my stock. I was traveling the world. I was living my best life. I was cute and skinny. I wasn't skinny, but you know what I'm saying. I don't think I've ever been skinny. But yeah, so he taught me. But you have to be able to look at yourself and stop being fake with people. Being taught to use love as a weapon. Just love. Because that's all. The reason why you use love as a weapon. The reason why you use love as a weapon is because you want love. Love is the highest frequency in the universe. So instead of being fake with it, because that's all you're going to get. If you are a fake lover, you're going to be loved in a fake way. Like, I'm not trying to be funny, but Mr. Tyrese is out here whining about this girl who played him. Okay, well, do you really think that you married her for love reasons? No, you chose her in the first place over superficial reasons. And then you got mad at her because she left you in a superficial way. And I don't know this gentleman, and I'm not trying to come at him like that, but you guys have to understand, you can tell what people were on by what they go through. And you can look at her and you can look at their relationship and tell that it was based on superficial means. I don't know. Cat Williams was talking about it. A lot of the stuff is superficial. So how are you going to be mad at her? You got what you put into it. That's for a whole nother bill, because I don't really know much about their situation and I'm not trying to be in their life. Okay, I have to add an insert because Alima made me watch Club Shay Shay's interview with Tyrese last night, and I realized that he was understanding of some of the things that we even talked about here, and that I didn't have a very good light on him, even though it wasn't so bad. I didn't watch the whole interview, but it was pretty dope, so we're gonna leave that there. I'm just talking about using love as a weapon. If you want authentic, you're gonna have to be authentic. If you want love, if that's what you want, then be love. Being taught that females, that women, I hate using the word female. I hate when men use the word females because you're using it with no emotion and you do it on purpose. That proves my point, right? Being taught that women are useless. So when the media, and I don't hear men in private talking about this, but on a public platform, you have all these men talking about, what do women bring to the table? Women aren't good for anything. Yeah, because you live in a survival world. But if you thrive, you're going to want love. And don't get it twisted, both are equally important, but what is success without love? That is why you have so many people who have done well in life financially, very sad and upset that they don't have anything to share their life with, anybody to share their life with. Or if they do, it's just women who want their money. This is what you hear when you get to the top. So women are very valuable, as are men. And if I have to go in this video and tell you why a woman is, if I have to tell you what a woman brings to the table, and don't get it twisted, I should tell you. We should have this whole build because there are really people who don't know. But I'm already in the too long video, and I think that it's better for me to put this in my video where I'm yelling at the women. So we're going to say that for that. But women are not useless. That is gaslighting that was taught to you by a culture of wounded masculine energy, a toxic patriarchal system. If women were wounded or useless, we wouldn't be here, because in a man's world where survival is everything, the weakest link goes to the side, and women have not been put to the side yet. All right, next one. Being taught to be logical only. This is talking you out of your birthright, because it is your divine right to have access to the whole universe, to your emotions, to the Akashic records, to everything that you cannot sense with any of your senses. See, taste, touch, hear, smell. Right? Did I get it all? See, taste, touch, hear, smell. Good, I'm getting better at this. You are supposed to be living life outside of your sensory beliefs. And men are taught that if they can't prove it with one of their five senses, that it is not real and that it is woo-woo, or that it is nonsense. And that is very dangerous, because that will keep you away from your birthright. You are not human. You are a being that is playing in this game. And if you forget who you are outside of this game, you will get trapped in this game. There's movies about that. Being taught that a man's job is only to make money, or only to protect, or only to provide. While you are a provider is not just a monetary means, and it's not just about protection. Being a provider is about guidance, it's about structure, and a leader is not someone, I saw this today, a leader is not someone who leads their people, it's someone who takes care of the people that are in their kingdom. The emperor, the true emperor, is the one that works the hardest, because he is taking care of his people. You have this society that taught you that an emperor or a king is selfish. Like, what's that show? Something Game of Thrones or House of Dragons, where you have that young king, this little badass somebody needed to take him off his throne. Because that's not what a king is. A king is someone who uses their people, manipulates, or takes from their people. He is the one that is the most capable to take care of them. He has to take care of himself first, but he takes care of his people, and he is concerned about what's going on in his kingdom in a dignified, respectful, loving way. And being a provider is about being able to guide and being able to structure. The main thing about a man that I love is the discipline and the planning, because when you have something, women are the creative force, so they bring forth the idea, but the man brings it together into a physical thing. So a woman says, hey, let's do this, and then a man says, okay, what do we need to do this? How can we do this? How is it going to affect everything? And a woman does it too. I'm saying your masculine energy is the one that takes the idea and makes it a finite reality in this 3D, in this third density. See what I'm saying? So they work together. That's what provider energy is. It's not just about paying the bills. We live in a world that is very far off of doing what we have come here to do, but the age of Aquarius is changing that. So it's very important that we understand what a provider is. Ill-dignified sex. I don't want to say the P word. When you watch people being intimate online, you are not watching something that's real. You are watching something that is perverted and toxic for you to take in. I am not against being in that, watching it. I'm not telling you don't watch it, but I am telling you that what you're watching is that it is created and that it's free because they know what they're doing when they bring it to you. So the thing about, I don't know if I can say the P word, y'all. The thing about being intimate online for the whole world to see, all these free websites. First of all, it's not real. These are people who don't care about each other. They're not having a cosmic experience. They're not even bonding. He doesn't care about her. She doesn't care about him. They're not having a real, there's so many different types of sex. There's Kundalini, there's tantric, there's so many different things. And in these practices, they will tell you that, can I even say the word sex? They will tell you that these practices is not about just feeling good. In our Western culture, this practice has become about pleasure. It's not about pleasure, and it's not even about bringing a kid in the world, but it is about procreation. When I say procreation, we're talking about if you knew all the things that you could do with intercourse, if you knew all the things that you could do with intercourse, you would do it differently. That's why. So we want to teach you that this is the only thing that you can do with it, that it's only for pleasure. We take the emotion out of it. We take love out of it. We take bonding out of it. We take the intimacy out of it. We take the sensualness out of it. And we teach you that it's supposed to be rough, hard. And why are y'all taking in juices of people that you don't know? This shit is just getting weird for me. But okay, I'm trying to go through this. I'm going to do a whole build on that. I just got to work some things out because I don't know what I can say and what I can't say, but I do have chocolate cake after dark coming. I talked about that years ago, but I'm actually starting to want to get in the works of it because as I want to talk about the universe, because I'm no longer in this space of needing to be healed. I'm just continuing to be healed. Chocolate cake after dark is coming and we're going to be talking about this stuff. Let me just cut this so I can continue on and not look at the time. All right. That also astutes to men being encouraged to have frivolous sex with people and to also have as much sex with as many people as they want. For some reason, we live in a society that says that it is okay for men to, but it's not okay for women to. First of all, this whole thing where it's good for the geese, but not good for the gander, whatever the freak the saying is BS. And anyone that tells you to look outside of yourself, now that I'm getting angry, anyone who tells you to ignore the feelings and the emotions and the lifestyle of another being is bullshitting you. I just want to be very clear. Okay? I can do a whole build on that. This whole thing that, because there is this dude, this famous YouTuber, he literally was telling me, I'm gonna find the video and do a short on this. He was telling these girls that it's okay for men. The girls were saying if women are whores, their body count is so stupid. First of all, it doesn't matter. Second of all, it's relative because you have some people who are 15 and other people who are 53. They're supposed to have the same body count. I even saw this guy that had, what was his name? Something Ram. He was such a hurt man, but he had a YouTube channel. He probably still does. He was talking about if she has had sex with more than 4 people, she's a whore. And I was like, oh wow, he's so hurt. And don't get it twisted. I do feel like sex and women should be very sacred, but I think that's sex with everyone. I need to see how much I'm allowed to say this. That word might be getting blurred out. You should want to know, you should be very careful with anyone you're procreating with, or not even procreating with anyone that you're having sex with, because guess what? You are mixing juices, and I'm not even talking about STDs, but on a spiritual level, you are doing things that half of y'all don't even understand that you're doing because you were taught to ignore spirituality. And that's why you were taught to ignore spirituality, because they don't want you to know what you're doing to yourself. Anyway, I don't know why as a man anyone would join the belief that it's okay for me to have unprotected or even frivolous sex with people. You don't know her. Why do you want your penis in her? That's just weird to me. Like, I feel like this is why I say men are gaslit. You don't feel like that's like low self-esteem that you're just sleeping with all these women. That's disgusting. And the same for you ladies. It's gross. Not even in a way where I'm just like, oh, you should, Jesus, because so many people come at this from like a Jesus thing. This ain't even about Jesus. This is about spirituality. Spiritually, sex being one of the greatest things that you can do on this planet, you should probably be a little bit more responsible about it. But let me back up because I'm missing some things. So this guy that was a famous YouTuber, the girls were saying, oh, well, if your body count as a woman, if your body count makes you a whore, what does that make men? And the guy said, a whore maker. Does hell? No, sir. But let me tell you about his reasons why. And I'm not trying to be funny with this guy because I don't know him. By all means, he was a good looking guy. By all means, he has a successful channel, which means he's being disciplined and he's putting in the work. That's what that means to me. But it was gaslighting, because his excuse was the same thing that all you men are taught to say. Women can only have one baby a year, but men can have a baby every day or every time they have sex. Okay. Oh God, I gotta spend time on this shit. Okay. Let me break this down. You are in the Western culture in 2024. You're not having sex to procreate. You're having sex for pleasure. I just said that. So in that space, in the pleasure space, right? Women have more nerve endings in their vagina than men have in the tip of their penis. So technically, it would be a woman's playground, not a man's playground. Second of all, if we're talking about procreation, a woman can have sex 10,000 times and not make a baby. She carries the eggs that she has in her from birth. She has the eggs. But that doesn't make a baby until a man releases himself in her. That's what makes the babies. So technically, you guys are the weapon carriers, not the women. So technically, what's it called? Birth control and all these things should be the man's responsibility with his body. But the reason why it's not is because we live in a patriarchal system that doesn't want men putting all these chemicals into themselves. So they want the women to put the chemicals into them, because women are, we already know, are disrespected on so many different levels. I've learned so much about women being a mother. I don't know why I didn't see some of these things. I saw them, but I've really learned ever since I've become a mom. Oh, geez. So it would make more sense for the men to guard themselves than it would a woman to guard himself. And the more I learn about men, the more I'm taught that men are very, very powerful, but they're taught into being weak in a powerful way. They're taught that, oh yeah, go have sex, because really what's happening is the people that have made up these rules for you are trying to keep you disconnected from God. They're trying to keep you disconnected from the universe. That's why I said earlier, you're giving up your divine right, that you are cutting off your access from source with all this perversion, with all this logic, with all this ignoring your emotions or numbing your emotions, with all this narcissistic or avoidant behavior. And I'm not talking about all men. I'm talking about this wounded masculine energy that is so prevalent in our culture. That's what I'm talking about. And you see it in some men and you don't in others, and you do see various degrees in men. You see it in women, you don't see it in others, and then you see various degrees in some women. All right. Also, my last thing that I wanted to talk about was avoidance. And what I mean by that is psychosis. So being taught away from yourself, using drugs, alcohol, video games, sex, mindless scrolling, sports. So hear me out on the sports thing, because I was an athlete, okay? You can play any sport and I'll beat your ass. A healthy or balanced masculine energy, his first order would be to protect his family, his society. And with all the things that are going on in our world, if men were not distracted by all these different things, they would be more in a warrior position of what's going. They would be standing up right now. But they're not, because that warrior energy gets thrown into football. That warrior energy gets thrown into basketball. Why the hell do you think that they make these things look like an arena or a coliseum? Anyway, the powers that be, the ones who've created this beautiful game that we play, have done a very good job of making masculine energy relieve itself through sports. So you think you're being competitive and you're being a man? You're giving that energy away when over here, they're doing all this bullshit, and that's what you'd really be looking at, but you're giving that energy over here. I don't think there's anything wrong with sports. I really, really, really like it. But that combined with the other things like the video games and the marijuana and the alcohol and the mindless scrolling and the frivolous sex, you are no longer a man. You're a shell. You are no longer a woman. You're a shell. And that's what this Age of Aquarius is about. And I've talked about it so many times. I need to do this video. It's about bringing back the human, bringing back the being, bringing back the things that we have lost through some of these ill-dignified things. And I don't mean to talk ill on any society, culture, government, because we are all growing. That's what I've told you guys. Everybody is evolving right now. And we have to understand that if it looks like it's getting worse, that's because sometimes you have to hit rock bottom so that you can bounce up. And that's what's happening in our society. We are hitting rock bottom. I love that I have been seeing so many people talking about relationships and healing and shadow work and stabilizing your nervous system. And while it could be that because I'm better, it's also because we as a society, the people who have been quiet this whole time are done being quiet. People like me who have had a better experience and need to start speaking up about that experience so that people who are hurt can understand that things can be better, should be better, and are getting better. And now it's time for you to participate in that improvement. I think this is a good video. I think this has been a good video. To be honest with you, I've only really touched the surface on ways that masculine energy is being gaslit in our Western culture. But to be honest with you, we're going to talk about this so much more. If you found value in this video, if it touched you, if it hit a nerve, if it pissed you off, it's because I hit a nerve. And that's good. So good for you. There's so much more to it, man. Go back and watch the video. You're Gonna Need a God, part 1. Part 2 is coming back out. I got a mouth on me and I had to get confident with being that mouthy. Okay. I am so appreciative of the support that I've been getting, like I've been saying. I'm glad I was able to do this video. I'm about to hit the road. Watch the video on You're Gonna Need a God, because that's a beautiful one. Also, my whole series on self-concept and emotional intelligence is really good, but we're gonna be talking more about this. Thank you for being here today. My love is your love. Peace.